Hi, I'm the Herb Guy. Stop Smoking Herb Blend. Welcome to part 2 of Stop Smoking Herb Blend. Currently, I have 3 of the 5 herbs. I'm not going to show you how to dig up a root. It's fairly self-explanatory. You dig the root up out of the ground. So the most important one is chicory, which is this one right here. You just brush them off in the sink. Clean them up. You don't have to, don't take the skin off or any of that. Clean it off like that. There's your chicory. Don't get rid of the leaves. That's for another video. The next one is burdock. As you can see, the burdock will get as big as a carrot. Do the same thing. Lightly brush it off just to get the dirt off. There's your burdock. And then, of course, dandelion. Now, there's 2 more herbs that are in this blend. And, hold on just one second. They are... Alright, so, next stage. Remove the greens. Do not throw away the greens. That's for the YouTube video. Go over to my YouTube video channel where science meets nature, and I will show you what you can do with the greens as a stop smoking alternative. Chop them into small pieces. This is the chicory. It'll be a little bit harder and a little bit more woody, but you chop them up about like that. You'll find that the dandelion and the burdock cut up exactly like a carrot, or even smoother. Dice them like that. Burdock, something like this big, I would cut in half. And same thing. Dice them up. Once you get them all diced up, I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so once you're all done, mix them all up. Unless you're going to keep them separate. If you want to keep them separate, you can do that too. For this particular not stop smoking blend, we're going to mix them all up. You're going to mix in the Lobelia and the Mullein. Now, in order to do that, you need to go through my timeline and find how to make a tea, and I also just reposted how to harvest herbs. Go ahead and watch those videos, and it'll show you how to do the leaves. You can add them to this tea. We're going to show you how to dry these real quick. Stay tuned. Take a dehydrator. I used either packing paper or parchment paper. Cut the hole so the air can get through. Put the roots on it. With the leaves, you won't necessarily need to do that. Put the leaves on there fairly whole. Just make sure, just watch the video and it'll show you how to do that. Put them on there. Let them set for 2 days because they're roots and they're more dense. You let these set for 2 days. They will dry and they will be ready for use. I had to come into the garage because of the rain today. When you're done drying your roots, this is our burdock root. If you can hear that, that's pretty hard, right? So, and the pieces are fairly large, you know. I mean, it's not going to take very many of those to fill up a tea strainer. So here's what you do. All those heavy roots that you had, you take them and you put them in a coffee grinder or a food processor or a Ninja or a smoothie maker or whatever it is you have that has blades and will grind things up. And you go ahead and you put those roots all together and you blend them up in there. And then you add your crushed leaf to that. Go ahead and make your tea. And as far as the ratio, try to make sure you have at the very least an equal amount of everything. But you probably want to try to have more chicory root because chicory root has that compound. Now, when you're using your chicory root, if you have to buy it, don't buy roasted chicory root. If you buy roasted chicory root, most of the compounds that's going to stop that process, that withdrawal process, those are going to be gone. They're going to be burned out. The same with the burdock and the same with the dandelion because, you know, you can buy roasted burdock root, roasted dandelion root, or even the blend of all 3. And it doesn't taste bad. It's a decent coffee alternative. It'll give you energy without giving you that oomph energy that you get from caffeine, and it doesn't let you down like caffeine does. But in regards to stopping smoking, you have to have the chicory root that is raw chicory root, and it is wildly expensive. That's why I suggest you dig it up yourself. It grows pretty much all over the United States, so you can just do a Google search on chicory root. Now, if you want to know how to make a tea out of the leaf tea, you got to go over to my TikTok on how to make a tea. I think I may have done it here too. It might be on my 1-minute herbs, how to make dandelion tea the easy way or something. But in regards to this, now that you have your root, okay, you grind that. Now you've made your tea. You want to take the tea, you want to do like a teaspoon of tea versus 1 cup of hot water. and that's going to be your ratio, and drink that like 3 times a day. That'll help with those cravings. That'll help with all of that other stuff. So now that you know what to do with the tea, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go down and I'm going to show you what you can do with the leftover leaves. Stay tuned. All right, so now that you've harvested all those roots, you got those roots made into a tea. Now that tea is to help you get rid of the cravings in order to stop smoking. So what are you going to do with all these leaves that are left over? If you were trying to quit smoking, one of the biggest issues that you're going to have is the habit of putting your hand to your mouth. That part of the habit. And the biggest thing that people have issue-wise on quitting smoking is that part of it, the smoking part. It's not necessarily the nicotine, but it's the smoking part. So what I do as an alternative for myself, I used to be a 2-pack-a-day smoker. And what that was a lot of cigarettes. I mean, I made my own, I rolled my own and stuff, but still, it was a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of tedium and a lot of, ew, not good for you. So I do now is I mix my own blend, and it varies on what I can gather at any given time. I don't have a specific blend for myself. This is my current blend, is what it looks like. In there, I have, let's see, there's some red raspberry leaf, there's some grape leaf, I have mint, plantain, a plethora of a little bit of everything. There's some goldenrod in there. That's for me. That's what I use for myself. But what you can do, since you're trying to quit smoking anyway, now the chicory has a compound in it that helps relieve the cravings. Well, the chicory, this is the leaf that's left over from the chicory. All of these leaves can be dried. Now, I just did how to harvest videos on my TikTok. If you don't do TikTok, I may try to get that video over here to YouTube on how to harvest herbs. But you take all these leaves, you take the flowers, you can use the stems, but the stems will poke holes in your paper. You can take the leaves, you can take the flowers, you dry them all separately like you normally would, even the purple part, that's fine, those aren't going to hurt you. Those will also help because some of those compounds will come through the smoke. And then, I've got my dandelion, because I harvested that, right? Look at all that leaf. All of that leaf is good, even the brown. I mean, you're just going to burn it anyway, what does it matter? It's been washed off, it's ready to go, all it needs is dried. And the biggest part of this whole thing is burdock. Look at the size of these leaves. These leaves are massive, and these are just the small ones. Burdock leaves get really large. So you dry the leaves, and once they're all dried, you grind them up. These will cottonize. It's called cottonizing, and this will help hold your cigarette together if you're making your own cigarettes with it. You can also use grape leaf. Grape leaf works really well for that. Red raspberry leaf also cottonizes and works really well for that. Mullein is great, and because it's an expectorant, sometimes if you put a lot of mullein in your cigarette, you'll cough a lot, but it's very productive coughing. You'll actually get a lot of the tar and the gross stuff out of your lungs. Um, and the same thing goes with the chicory. It also is an expectorant. It's really good. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's any better for you. Look, smoking is smoking, and putting that kind of stuff in your lungs all the time is bad for you, but it does help. By doing this myself and by doing it this way, I'm down to like 8 cigarettes a day, 8 herbal cigarettes a day. And I was just looking at my wife the other day, and I was like, not even sure why I'm doing this anymore. It's kind of a waste of time. So I figured that by winter, it's going to be too cold for me to go outside to smoke a cigarette. That doesn't really do a whole lot for me other than it's the habit, and then I'll have to find a new habit. So it'll probably be making more videos. I guess, I could do that too. But that's what we have. That's what you can do. And let me see. Let me give a list of some other herbs that we can use. Let's see. Okay, so you have lobelia. You have mullein, red raspberry leaf, plantain, dandelion leaf, creeping Charlie, St. John's wort. If you're taking psych meds, do not use St. John's wort. Any of the plantains will work. Pretty much a lot of the leaves will work. You just got to be sure you know what you're smoking, and but that's what it is. If you're trying to quit smoking and you can't stop the smoking part of it, switch out your tobacco, because you're already going to be drinking the tea. Switch out your tobacco with the leaf. I'm not suggesting it. I'm not telling you should. That's what I did for myself, and that will at the very least help alleviate some of the other symptoms that you'll have with tobacco, and maybe you'll just get tired enough of doing it. You'll just quit. So I mean that's the goal anyway, right? So, but hey, let me know what you think of this in the comments below. I'm trying to put this together on the fly, and I had such an overwhelming response to my how to stop smoking video, or how to stop smoking herb blend video, that on TikTok, that I had to do this other video. Now, hopefully all those people are over here on YouTube watching the rest of this so they can see what they can do with what's left over. But in regards to the leaves, when you're harvesting your burdock, you can actually make a carton or two worth of cigarettes with all those, because if you dry all of those leaves, clean them off and dry them, you can use that as your base for your tobacco. Tubes are about $3 a box, so that's about a carton's worth of tubes for $3. And then whatever effort you took to pick your own herbs, if you pick them out of your yard, they're free other than your effort. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I guess I wasted enough of everybody's time and I'm starting to ramble. I appreciate everybody watching. I hope everybody has a great day.